What would I enjoy about being in an episode of Doctor Who? Well, simply quite answer is running. When you see them running about all over the place, I would love that. Apart from going to Comic Cons and conventions and meeting all the cast from my favourite shows, what I love to do is run. And I've been running on and off all my life. I'm part of a local running group, and I was in that group when I was little. And well, I say little, I was in that group when I was a teenager. I went off and did different things in life, and I started up again in 2023 in the running club. And really, the last couple of years, what I've really improved on in life is my running. I used to struggle to do a 5k in 30 minutes. I did a park run a few weeks ago in 22, just 22, just over 22, 50, 22 minutes 50 seconds. And I did the Bladen Races this year in 44 minutes, and last year I did it in 51 minutes. So I feel like I'm always improving. Um, Going on running challenges. For example, last year I did my first marathon, which was in Kielder, it was quite hard running up all those hills. If you ever go to Kielder and you're going for a run, brace yourself. Those hills are steep, and I mean steep. If you wanna give yourself a challenge, do some running in Kielder. Those hills were, oh, you felt like when you were going up there. But yeah, I love running. And if I was on an episode of Doctor Who, I'd be running away from the Daleks, so I'd be running away from the Cybermen, or I would be going to run to get some help for someone. But um, I love my running. This year I did the Newcastle Gateshead Marathon, which was good fun, but I hadn't really trained. I mean, I've been running loads, but last year when I did Kielder, I was doing like 20 miles, 19 miles, 20 miles, boom, 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 boom. But this year, I've just been running, the furthest I've been running, leading up to my marathon this year, was 6, 7 miles. And if you're doing a marathon, you've got to do a lot more than that. So I did Newcastle Gateshead. I completed the marathon. I actually did better in that one with no training than I did in Kielder because the hills weren't that bad, and I was feeling maybe a bit fitter because I used to, meet my friends. I used to drink quite a lot, and one drink led to another, and then one day I just cut out all the alcohol, and I just started running, and I just started walking to work, and I work a few miles away, so I was getting fitter and fitter and fitter. So this is the medal I got from running the Kielder Marathon, and it was a good experience. I'm pleased I did it. I would do it again and hopefully do a little bit better because I did, you know, I felt for my first marathon it was okay, but I chose quite a hard marathon. This marathon, good fun, but if you're going to do a marathon, you need to do the training. I hadn't really done much training. I did the Great North Run. That was last year. I did a lot better last year than I did the year before. My first year was 2023, and I did that in 2 hours and 10 minutes, whereas this one was 1 hour and 45 minutes. When I did this year, the Great North Run in 2023, it was hot. It was red, red hot. You were doing the Great North Run in blistering heat. And what was great was they had some showers there. So you're running through the showers and you got a bit cooler, but it was really, really hot. But the minute you finished the run, it's absolutely chucking it down. So everybody, you go from the where it finishes in South Shields to the ferry. You get on the ferry and you go back home across the ferry on the ferry to North Shields, and I live in Whitley Bay. So waiting for the ferry, it was chucking it down. You were getting absolutely wet. The queues were mad, and yeah, whereas this year, it was I think it was raining. It was mild and it was raining a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. But I did a lot better because I was still drinking alcohol and I was still a little bit unfit, unhealthy. And in 2023, and I'll just cut out all alcohol. I'll feel much better for it because when I used to get carried away and one beer led to 10, and it was happening quite often, and I was drinking just for the sake of drinking. And the best thing I've ever done in life is give up alcohol and focus on my running. And I did a half marathon in Christmas time up at the Town Moor, and that was 1 hour 47 minutes. I was a bit full from turkey dinner, and yeah, but it was good. Did that with some friends of mine because when you get into running, you meet loads of friends. Like I've got loads of friends now from going to my running club, and I love going to my running club. It's a great social experience. You're running with people the same ability as you. You get a little bit faster and you go up the next group. You get a bit faster, you go up the next group, and yeah, last year I got coach's award for the most improved member in the little group I was in. So I'm really chuffed with that, buzzing with that. I've kept a couple of my numbers. So that's the North Tyneside trial. That was at Christmas. Well, I say Christmas, it was January, but you're still a little bit full from your turkey dinner. And that was the Christmas, that was that one. And I went to Blaine Races last week. And yeah, so if I was in an episode of Doctor Who, I would love the running part. I would be like Christopher Eccleston and Grandma, like taking hold of my companion's hand saying, "Run!" I would be like David Tennant, when he shouts the 10th Doctor, "One!" And I would be taken off, and my companion, if I was the 11th Doctor, Amy, saying, "Oh, do I have to do the running thing?" The 12th Doctor running, Jodie Whittaker running. Every episode of Doctor Who, they go for a run. They do. I would love that. I've got a friend of mine, he's getting into his running, and he says, "Oh, I haven't really run before, but I play a lot of football." Said to my friend, "Yeah, but I bet you do a marathon when you're running up and down the football pitch. You see all the runners on the telly, and they look like they must do at least half a marathon chasing after the ball, but they don't realise." So yeah, I think running is great. I'm so pleased I'm now focused more on my running, and you always improve. And I'm doing a challenge at the weekend called the Eddie's Step Challenge. And then after that, I'm doing the Newcastle Half Marathon in July. I unfortunately didn't get in the Great North Run this year, but I thought, I've done it. I've done it before. I'll do something else. So I'm doing Keswick Half Marathon. Fun fact, I actually used to live in Keswick. Well, I say live. I was part of a little gap year, but I left early because I'd just done another gap year the year before, and I was starting to, miss my family, and I wanted to get paid a little bit more. So I ended up leaving Keswick earlier than my gap year. But I loved my time there. I've met my friend for life. There's people there who I've sadly lost touch with over the years, and they've left where it was. But I really miss them. Loved spend time with them. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Keswick Half Marathon. And I've got my brother into running now, so we both go running. And yeah, everyone's got the hobby, but my hobbies are, apart from all my Comic Cons, it's running. And so I would love to run away from a monster because I am a bit, I get scared easily. I get scared of, I watched a film about wolves and I had to turn the film off because it was horrible, these wolves, and I thought, oh, I'm a bit of a wimp. So instead of running into danger, I'd probably run away from it. But I'm loving all my running and challenges. And a friend of mine, he's just done a half marathon in Disneyland, and so he's told me how to enter that. I would love to do that because I'm also a massive Disney fan. I'm gutted the deal hasn't really worked out with Doctor Who and Disney because I'm a massive Disney fan. I actually watched Snow White, the new film, the other day, and I know it's got mixed reviews and all of that, but I actually really enjoyed it. I couldn't stop singing Hi Ho the next day. I was driving my family mad by going around the house, hi ho, hi ho. And yeah, so that's the half marathon I want to do, Disneyland. I want to do, a few friends of mine have just done Manchester half marathon, so I would love to do that. I would love to, there's so many. I would like to build up towards doing an ultra half marathon. I went out and did a half marathon, just a made up one in my head the other day. Well, I say the other day, it was a couple of months ago, called the Churchill Half. Well, we've got a field near where I live called Churchill Plainfields. It was just doing lap, 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 lap of that. And I call that the Churchill Half because I finished a half marathon, but on Churchill Plainfields. And yeah, I am hoping to do Belfast. A friend of mine says that if I do the Belfast Marathon, she'll do the half marathon. So I think that's because I'm limiting myself to a marathon a year because I don't want to, I don't want to, you know, I want to enjoy running. I don't want it to always feel like, oh, I've got this, I've got that. What if I don't do well? What if I don't do well? I think if the minute you start worrying, oh, what if I don't do well? It's a fear you're going to stop enjoying something and you want to keep enjoying it. So yeah, I've limited myself to a marathon a year. So last year was Kielder, this year was Newcastle Gateshead, and next year's Belfast, and the year after that will hopefully, because I'll be 30 in a couple of years' time, as part of my 30th celebration, birthday celebration, all of that, hopefully I'll do Disneyland because my friend really enjoyed it and he's got a great t-shirt from it and I would like that. And yeah, so if I was in an episode of Doctor Who, what I would love to do is run.